Rangers Journal Night.
Yes, hello everyone, it is me, I am Andrew, and very warm welcome to this Rangers Journal preview podcast. We are going to preview the upcoming midday kickoff at McDiarmid Park versus St Johnstone. That's something to get you all feeling excited after a nice midweek win on the Riviera. But to join me to talk about this preview of St Johnstone, I've got the wonderful Cammy. Cammy, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. As you say, positive last couple of days, Thursday night. So it's just about building from that. 3 points today, non-negotiable, basically.
It is non-negotiable, isn't it? I think we've got literally no wiggle room left if we are going to try and do anything this season. So yeah, no, good to have you on, Cammy. And of course, everyone at home, get all your comments in for this preview pod. So we have seen the team sheet that is hot off the press. So for Rangers, some interesting changes from the manager. So I'll go through the team sheet now. So we have Jack Butland in goal. James Tavernier is back into the squad as captain at right back. We have Suter Proper back in from the cold. And of course, we have Jeff Day at left back. We have Barron and Raskin maintaining that kind of double pivot in front of the defence. An interesting one, we have Hadji starting, Bajrami, Cherny, and of course, Igmane retaining his spot after his double midweek. So, Cammy, interesting lineup.
Couple of more changes than I envisaged. I thought it would be the same 11 if everybody was available. I think the fact Paul's referenced the fact that no Sterling in the squad, you can only assume a niggle, hopefully no more than a niggle. I think that's the concern that I do have over Sterling is his durability and to play. I think Big Casa getting injured is a huge problem for us in that regard, that he could play right, left, centre sort of thing. Hadji, I'm pleased to see comes into the starting lineup, obviously fully fresh after not being in the squad, but I don't have any issues. As much as Tav divides opinion, he's got a great record scoring up at St Johnstone across the years, and his goal return this season hasn't been normal. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Tav get a goal today, to be honest with you. But I'm pleased with the starting lineup.
Yeah, do you know what? It's an interesting one with Tav, because of course the comments will be hot and on fire at the minute with those words, James Tavernier. But having a couple of games out might have actually helped him to reset a little bit. Obviously, the start of the season, he did have that injury that he kind of carried on into the start of the season, didn't have a proper pre-season. Whether we like it or not, Tav is one of our big creators. There's obviously been a lot of problems with the side over the years because that's where the avenue is, and we've kind of relied on that too much to the squad's detriment sometimes. But it'll be interesting to see how Tav is after a few games out, a bit of a rest, and hopefully he can get on with the creativity. Now, yeah, seeing Hadji back in that lineup is an interesting one as well, because I think Hadji does have something to offer. Obviously, we're not getting carried away because we've seen all sides of Hadji, and he has been here a few years now, plagued by injury as well. And of course, it looked like he was away in the summer. So, yeah, so obviously Sterling a bit of a concern. Hopefully he's not picked up another injury, but yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So having a look at the kind of team sheet, looking at St Johnstone, they've got a few injuries still. They've got some long-term injuries. Barry Douglas, big player for them, he's still missing. Ikpeazu's obviously caused a few issues for us over the years. He's got a knee injury. Cammy McPherson's out, and Sam McClellan's out as well. Obviously, looking at our bench as well, if we just have a little delve into that, as I've just deleted my notes, which is always just handy. I don't know how I managed to do this, but there they are. But looking at the bench today, we do have some bit of quality on there. Obviously, we've got Diamandi on there, who had a fairly decent game midweek. Obviously, Balogun, King, Redvan, Dessers, McCausland, and Danilo. Any of those guys going to make an impact later on?
I think it's good to see two striking options on the bench, again, without going into the what Cyril Dessers is. Dessers, Danilo, McCausland, Diamandi, Redvan. I would expect to see all five, to be perfectly honest with you. I would be very surprised. I do agree with one of the comments talking about Rice or Curtis on the bench rather than Dill, although I do understand why that's what happens. senior player always seems to get priority over an up and coming player with regard to that. But the bench is getting a bit stronger. I think Thursday night it was very filled with youth. Having Danilo and Hadji into the mix, it does help. Obviously, we're still missing Lawrence and Cortez and Matondo and guys like that. But I think there's more than enough in that Rangers squad today to go and make this a stress-free afternoon. It's just about them turning up and starting the game. 12 o'clock kickoffs traditionally, we maybe wake up about 1:45, but if we're on it from the first whistle, we should win this game by a couple of goals. But what Rangers turns up, that is the $1,000,000 question, Andrew.
We are an enigma. I've never seen a side like it. On paper, we should be able to steamroll a lot in the league. You see it, if you were to run a computer simulation, it should be the case. You'll get the odd kind of fluke result. But what we do in Europe, Vice, what we do in Scotland, just shows the kind of, I guess, the lack of creativity that we have. And hopefully that's something that can start now. Obviously, we saw with Hadji, yes, as I say, don't get your hopes up. But as we saw with Hadji in the game, he got sent off. He played that fantastic through ball for the goal. He can add something, which might just help us a little bit of an extra dimension going forward. I got a few stats. So, of course, St Johnstone have lost each of the last 7 meetings with Rangers across all competitions. I think their last longer losing run was in December 1992, where they lost 10 in a row. So it's not looking good for them at the minute. But, of course, they're under a new manager now, Valakari. So hopefully, I say hopefully, no, not hopefully, but hopefully we can continue that run. We've only lost 1 of our last 23 meetings with St Johnstone in all competitions. So we've won 18 and drawn 4. Do you think they have a chance at all today? European hangover, new manager bounce. Obviously, they got stars in that team, that could maybe do something that might want to have a little bit of vengeance against us.
I think our away record is nothing to write home about. This isn't a trophy winning Rangers side that can just turn up and go away with the 3 points. It should be, but they will. There isn't a fear factor against teams playing against us, and the only way we can do that is by making these games easier and showing. I think that's spot on. High tempo, constant press. Just football now is very. I think we overcomplicate it. I just think that if you take 5 touches when 2 would do, take a touch pass. If you're laboured and you're moving the ball from side to side, and the 2 centre halves are playing passy between each other, I think that's a huge part of our issue. And I think our away form after European games, this isn't just a Philip Clement problem. This has been a historical problem pretty much across the last 5 or 6 years. Out with the 55 season, we turn up on the Thursday and we draw 2-2 in Feyenoord, and then you would go to Dundee United on the Sunday and draw 1 each or get beat or something like that. So it's a problem. It is a problem, and we've not scored a lot of goals away from home so far this season. So today, and we've got obviously an away game next Sunday. You need to put those things to bed and get 6 points across the next 2 away days, and then obviously the midweek home to Kilmarnock. But it's the opposition will smell an opportunity, but it's about Rangers, and it is very cliched. It's about what Rangers turns up, and if we turn up with the right attitude and play the ball, move it quickly, create chances, and we're clinical, we win the game. Sounds simple.
It does sound simple, and it's something that should be happening and just doesn't seem to this season, especially as you say, our away record. You compare the goals we scored in Europa League to the goals we scored in Scotland. I think our goal difference is +8 at the minute, which is shocking for a Rangers side. But speaking of goals, if you look at our last results against St Johnstone, so obviously last time we played them was 6th of October at Ibrox. It was a 2-0 win. And then, of course, back in August, we played them in the Cup, the League Cup round of 16. We beat them 2-0 as well. well. And before that, if you look into last season, it was a 3-0 win at McDiarmid Park back in February, then a 2-0 win at Ibrox, and another 2-0 win at McDiarmid Park as well. So they haven't really fared well in scoring against us. Obviously, they've got some danger men. Like I was saying, Nick Piezo is out with an injury, so he'll be a big miss for them. But looking at other players in that team, you know, when you see names like Jason Holt and Nicky Clark, you always find players like that want to just play that little bit, they give that a little bit extra, don't they, against their former club. But do you see any kind of danger men for them? They've got Kim Pioka playing. Do you think he could cause us some issues today?
Again, they do have guys. I mean, I liked Nicky Clark back in the day. He was never the greatest Rangers striker, but I think he's had a decent career, and he's one of these players that can always pop up with a goal. Has scored goals pretty much everywhere he's been. But Ikpeazu missing is a huge, without turning him into R9, he is a physical player that could have caused Robin Proper a lot of problems. I think that's one of the difficulties that Proper has had. But I don't think we've got, it's about Rangers, we will dominate, we'll have 65-70% of the ball. It's about moving the ball quickly and not giving them not causing our own downfall, Andrew. And I think giving them early opportunity and early, to go ahead, or just by starting sloppily, I think the opposition, it is very, just about what we do.
I do agree. I think it does have to be about us, but we at times are very. I think application could be the problem, like you say. I think looking at our laboured kind of press at times in Scotland, when we got that 10-man, the defence, we really struggle to open teams up who look side to side. We play lateral passes. I think I've always known from like a lot of the manager chat, and it's not necessarily Clement, but even previous managers where they'll say, oh, we will never panic. We'll just go slow and we'll just kind of, it will come. And I think that can be part of the problem as well, because I think suddenly you notice in a lot of games, especially in the past, whether it be Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, whether it be Gerrard, suddenly when it hits the 80-minute mark, suddenly we start really then going, okay, yeah, it's not coming. We've got to try and do something. And then we actually start peppering the goal. So yeah, there's a kind of problem that's kind of translated through the team, no matter what manager there has been. So I'm just hoping today, can we just get a nice easy 2-0 up by halftime? Is that too much to ask for all the travelling fans going up to Perth?
Same as Thursday night. Just be in the situation where you're relaxed for the second half. That's, you look at what happened across the city yesterday. No disrespect, I'm not expecting us to be 5-0 up at half time, but put the game to bed early. Then you're in the position like you were on Thursday night, where you can take players out. You can give Danilo 30 minutes. You can maybe play Igaman off the left. You can manage without going all sports science, you can manage the minutes of Raskin and Barron, who are like playing a lot of football, and the energy that they are. But I hope that they can bring the same sort of intensity and the same energy, because I think they very much set the tone. And I think this is the challenge, playing both of them in games like this. There is a concern as, do we need one or other? But we have limited options with regard to who could sort of come in. So I'm pleased to see Hadji. I think he might help Bajrami. He might help Cherny. The more sort of creative players and guys that can find a pass and can play off each other, the better for me.
Yeah. No, I do agree. Looking at St Johnstone's last result, of course, they got a fantastic win over Kilmarnock, a team that we do struggle against no matter what the season. And obviously, one of the players kind of shining in that was 20-year-old Kirk, who scored the winner 53 minutes in. So he'll definitely be a guy to watch. Their form, it's not been phenomenal. They've obviously lost, I think, the last 3 games in a row, but then won there in their last game. So hopefully the upturn in form isn't something going to turn them into superheroes. But let's go for a prediction, Cammy. Do you have a prediction? Are you one for predictions?
I do like a prediction, but I think 2-0, I think, would be ideally 2-0 by half time. But 2-0 and a continuation of the sort of feel good. I know it is all about 3 points, but I think we're now in a position with this Rangers team and this Rangers manager where we have to start to see something. We have to start to see an energy. We have to try and rebuild the connection and the sort of synergy between the players and the support. And the only way that that happens is by going out, scoring goals and being clinical. I've been quite cautious with a 2-0, but if we were 2-0 up at half time, I could see us going on and scoring three or four. But it's you'll know within the first 15, 20 minutes what you're going to get. So I'm going to stick to what I said, and I think 2-0 with the minimum of fuss, and I think another goal for Igman.
You just want a nice easy Sunday, don't you? Nice easy Sunday. You know, I don't think Rangers could do that.
See, to be honest with you, it's like I'm looking at the football and I'm going, right, the Chelsea game's on, and I've got my afternoon planned. I'm on the post match. Just make it a nice stress-free 90 minutes. I can do the post match. We can relax and enjoy the rest of the English football and just enjoy the football. But this is Rangers, you know. It doesn't work out like that. And hopefully today is the start of a week where we get 3 domestic wins on the board, because I think that's very much needed to try to build on what Thursday night was.
Yeah,
Thursday night, and if we fall back into we drop 2 points today, the negativity just, and you know, it just continues. You know, we have to. It's only a couple of weeks until the cup final, so you have to try and go into that in a reasonable run of form and belief that we can actually do something on that day. So I'll go 2-0.
2-0. Okay, yeah, no, do you know, that seems like a logical result. You know, you look at the previous results against St Johnstone, they tend to be that. I think obviously new manager bounce. I think he'll approach the game a slight bit different today. I think I don't want to say this, but I think we're going to be a goal down at half time. I think Kimpioka is going to open the scoring, but I think we're going to have a 3-goal second half for us. So I think it's going to be 3-1. I think Igmani will score. Then I think Dessers will get one. I do think Dessers will get one. I think Cherney as well, because I think Dessers coming off the bench sometimes can offer something a little bit more. I think he gets to analyse the game and kind of see where things are, and then just has that little bit of energy, because I think when he's got like a little yard in front of some of the others, he definitely performs better. But looking at Dessers, I just don't think he's really a starter for us going forwards. You know, you got Danilo there as an option as well. And of course, Igmani, it's his position to lose really now, isn't it? So, yeah, I'd love it to be a nice, easy day. And I think we all could do with that. We've got a whole day of football planned up ahead. I'm getting the Christmas decorations up later. The little yin is going on about that. So I don't want to be growling while I'm putting the decorations on the tree. But I'm going to go 3-1. I think 3-1 just seems... I think we will concede Propers back in the back line. I don't know how he'll handle it. He's probably worked on a lot of stuff, you know, kind of in the background. He had a fairly decent game midweek. I think European football probably suits him a little bit better. He could be our modern day Brahim Hemdani, so to speak, where, you know, we wheel him out for the European ties. But we'll see. We'll see where we're at. And of course, as you say, we've got the big cup final coming up in a couple of weeks. That'll be catching up on us very shortly. We do need to start showing players need to be fighting for their positions and who's going to start that game, because it could end up being a hiding to nothing if players aren't showing anything. But so that's our thoughts going into this game. Obviously, kickoff is at 12 o'clock from McDermott Park. Scotty, thank you ever so much for coming on and previewing this with me. Obviously, there's lots coming this week from the Rangers Journal, but you'll be back on the post match, won't you, Cammy?
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's a stress-free post match. That's all I'm looking for, is a stress-free 90 minutes and a nice and easy post match. But we'll, as I say, we'll see what happens within the first 15, 20 minutes, how it's going to play out.
Yeah, we don't ask for much in life, do we? God, we've been through a lot over the past few years. Just give us a nice, easy win, especially this season. But no, thank you, Cammy, for your thoughts, and thank you for coming on, pal. But yeah, lots coming this week from the Rangers Journal. The Ibrox Channel podcast now is on the Rangers Journal. That will be on Thursday, I believe. So do look out for that. And every day is a Rangers Journal day. There's loads of podcasts coming throughout the week, live on YouTube and live on the socials at the Rangers Journal. So do make sure you do follow, subscribe, and like. So hopefully the Bears get a win. See you all later, guys. On the Rangers.